everybody. Hey, how are you doing tonight? Today, whenever you are watching, thank you for being here at the Kingdom Builders Business University behind the scenes. Behind the scenes of what, Michelle? Behind the scenes of being a business owner, behind the scenes of the classes that we have here at Kingdom Builders Business University. That's right. My name is KB.MichelleGreen, stands for Kingdom Builders, but you can call me KB.MichelleGreen or you can find me at Michelle Green anywhere. Listen, we are here because we want to exponentially empower the elite entrepreneur for excellence. That's what we do every single Wednesday from 9:30 to 10 to come on live and talk to you about entrepreneurship. If you are a business owner or you know somebody who is, you need to go ahead and tell them right now to go ahead and get in the room and get in where they fit in because we are getting ready to drop some jewels on being an entrepreneur and what it's like behind the scenes. Things that we don't really talk about. Maybe because we don't have anybody to talk about concerning business. Maybe it's because that the people that we are talking to, maybe they don't fully understand because they haven't had the type of business experiences that we are going through. So regardless of what the situation is, we just want to make sure that you are in the room and that you are listening in and sharing this message with every entrepreneur that you know, because it is so crucial that we share the wealth of knowledge, understanding, and application, the ability to apply what it is that we know and how to do it. So, listen, let's go ahead and click that subscribe button right now and let's go share this with a friend. Let's just stop and pause for a minute. Let's just have a moment of silence for you to go ahead and subscribe and to lock in to the KBBU behind the scenes YouTube channel and podcast. That's right. We are a podcast and we are a actual TV show. So thank you for watching. We appreciate you being here and make sure that you share this with a friend or family member or somebody that you know who needs this information, including yourself. Okay. All right, now that we got that out of the way, I want you guys to know that every time you see us, you need to know that we are powered. We are here streaming through CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network is a streaming service. It is a whole network that streams their platform to 3.6 billion viewers every single day. That's right, 3.6 B with a B, with a B, with billions with a B. That's right. We are talking about billions of viewers that are watching every single day all over the world in over 175 countries. So, can you believe that we are pretty much in every continent that exists? That's right. That's why it's important for you to know who you're connected to, even if we start out by just thinking about as a business owner. Who's in your network? Who is in your network? Whose network are you connected to? Where is your circle of influence coming from? Where are you influencing your impact to people? How are you getting your message out there? If you're a business owner and you are not seen and heard, then you need to get on over to www.ctrmedianetwork.com so that you can get on a platform that streams to billions of people everywhere. So listen, today we are just going to jump into a topic of just being a business owner. As a business owner, you want to first think about, what is your real purpose of doing business? What is your real reason for being a business owner? So tonight we are going to just dive into some of the real behind the scenes situations, scenarios, conversations around just you being a business owner. I was thinking about how long I have been in business. I have actually been doing business for over 30 plus years. I started out as a financial advisor, strategist, educator, and I kind of stumbled into credit repair and then started my own business. And the difference between being a independent contractor, a 1099 person independent contractor versus being someone who is going to start their business from scratch, I want you guys to know that that is two totally different worlds. So, if we can talk about that just for a second, if you're thinking about being a business owner because maybe the economy is changing so much, is shifting, and you got some ideas around the fact that you don't want to be on the job all the time, then listen, you can come over to kbbullc.com and you can come on over here so that we can help you in an associate certification class to go from employee to employer. We specialize in the opportunity for you to be able to be educated, to know exactly what you're talking about, get all of your legal paperwork right, and to help you not just with the paperwork and setting up contract agreements, your insurance plans, your copyrights, your trademarks. All of that is in the bag. But in addition to that, did you know that we also help you with money management? We help you with managing your money as a business owner. We help you with getting credit and getting funded as a business owner. We help you with managing your business, the actual systems of your organization as a business owner. And we help you with marketing, media, and sales. Remember, I was just sharing with you about CTR Media Network. They are collaborating with KBBU every single day to help entrepreneurs all over the world to expand their reach, to be able to get in front of an audience that they never have seen before. Listen, we have a solution in every area of business. And if it's something that we don't know, guess what we'll do? We'll make sure that you get the information that you need so that we can solve the problems because that's what we specialize in. But one of the things that I notice is that there is a really big difference between someone who is a 1099 independent contractor. That's what that means. If you are a contractor, if you're working for a company, and the company has pretty much taken over all of the overhead for you to be able to provide them your skill, your gift, your talent in a special area of expertise. Like maybe you're a truck driver, maybe you are an attorney, maybe you are someone like a medical physician, maybe you are someone who is working as a independent contractor and don't even realize that there is a complete difference between being a independent contractor versus being an employer where you're starting your whole business from scratch and you're trying to get everything managed and put together so that you can be the kind of business owner that is making 6 and 7 figure incomes. Listen, so let's talk about that for a second. As a 1099 contractor, because that's where I started my foundation in finances. Then I went into credit repair, opened up a nonprofit, opened up Kingdom Builders Business University, and who knows what else we're going to be doing down the road. But listen, as I started out as an independent contractor, one of the things that I learned is that as an independent contractor, many times what we do is we focus on just that particular field or industry that we are getting licensed in. If we have to go through any type of school education, as we say, continuing education as an independent contractor, usually that education is provided to us by the company that we work for, by the company that is handling our licensing, or possibly if we're not being licensed through a company to become an independent contractor, we still have to go to school, we still have to get an education, and then we can get into the professional ramifications of it all of being a licensed professional in whatever field or industry that you are in, right? Well, that is one big difference from being a independent contractor versus being an actual business owner. And that is a big difference because what we have to understand that when we are independent contractors, we don't have to have the overhead. We don't have to create a logo. We don't have to come up with a business name. Normally, we don't have to set up a phone number or have an address for our companies because we can literally just be an independent contractor just with our name. One of the things that I found being a business owner for so long as an independent contractor versus being an actual business owner that has businesses and have to do everything from scratch is that when you are an independent contractor, you really are kind of like being guided by the people that have to train you for your license. You are being guided as a entrepreneur that is really still in the same frame of mind as an employee. Okay? Now, we know that being an employee, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking that. I'm not knocking that at all. But what I am saying to you is that being an employee, it doesn't really differ that much from being an independent contractor, except that when it comes down to doing your taxes, you have to put on your tax paperwork how much money did you actually make from being an independent contractor. So I want you to know that your taxes can actually merge together when you are an independent contractor, and you can still benefit greatly from the expenses that you have as an independent contractor on your tax paperwork. You can benefit greatly if you know how to calculate the proper expenses on the tax paperwork, saying that you had to pay for certain education, you had to pay for that continuing education. You had to pay for the license if you recently got licensed, or if you have to renew your licensing, or any type of authorities, permits, or anything of that nature that you have to keep intact. Did you know that just because you are possibly a employee and an independent contractor, on your taxes that you have the ability to have a deduction based on all of the expenses that you have to take care of as a entrepreneur that is a 1099 independent contractor. So, one of the benefits of being an independent contractor is that you really don't have the same responsibilities that you would have as a full blown entrepreneur, a full blown business owner. Now, when we think of a 1099 independent contractor, the reason why our mindsets don't differ that much is one of the reasons is because we are in the same frame of mind as doing everything for ourselves. We depend on ourselves to run the actual not non-profit, but we depend on ourselves to actually go into business and be able to get those contract agreements and being able to fulfill those contract agreements if we are a 1099 independent contractor. We depend on if we are a real estate agent, if we are a medical professional, if we are an attorney, if we are anybody that is legitimately skilled in a particular field or industry, and we just simply have the independent contractor 1099 set up. We don't have to go and do anything other than make sure that the skill set is fulfilled, and then we get paid. So I was thinking about all the years that I thought I was really doing something as a business owner. But I've become to realize, especially now that I've been around the block a few times, I've come to realize that being an independent contractor versus being a business owner has two totally different world mindsets. So if you are an independent contractor, maybe you're working for a particular company, maybe you're in a multi-level networking type organization. Maybe you are, selling for XYZ company. I don't know. Whatever you're doing as an independent contractor, you have to understand that if you are getting ready to transition your mindset to being a business owner, it is going to be completely different from you being a 1099 person. So you got to change your mind from being a person who is solely dependent on someone else to do everything for you, to being a person who is going to have to now take on all the responsibilities for themselves. So I want to liken this example to becoming a parent. I want to liken this to someone who is finishing up high school, getting ready to go to college, or for someone who is leaving the home of their parents or their guardians, and they're leaving and they are getting ready to start out in their own place by themselves. See, when we are in our houses with our parents, our guardians, when we are working and doing everything to generate an income. Maybe we have a part-time job. Maybe we have a full-time job as a person that is at home with our parents, or maybe we are, getting ready to graduate from high school, and we know how that has been. But we've been talking about and leading up to the responsibilities and how they will shift as we begin to leave and go off to college. We have been trying to prepare our mindsets for what it's going to be like to no longer have somebody that is telling us what to do, to now we are going into a mindset that we have to think for ourselves. Okay, so when we think about, leaving the home, leaving the nest egg, having children that are leaving the nest egg, or even giving birth to a child, becoming a parent of our own, listen, it changes the whole mindset of responsibilities. So, what am I saying? I'm saying that the person who is having the kid, if you have never been a parent before and you are giving birth to your first child, it completely shifts the responsibility of just you yourself and everything that you have to do to take care of just one person, to now you're taking care of two people or three people or more. Listen, that shifts your whole mindset completely, because now you are responsible for that person staying alive. You're responsible for that person being able to have something to eat every day, have something to drink every day. You're responsible for the clothes that they put on their backs. You're responsible for them being able to socialize and them being able to get an education and learn new things in the world. You are responsible for somebody else. And when you become a business owner, this is the same type of mindset change that you have to begin to implement in order for you to be a successful business owner. You cannot be a successful business owner if you continue to have the same mindset that you had as a single individual. If you are thinking about furthering your business journey, you are thinking about, I am going to shift into being a 1099 contractor, to I'm going to open up my own company, and I'm going to still be maybe in the same field, utilizing the same gift, skill, or talent, but I'm going to do it myself. So when we decide that we are getting ready to leave home, we are getting ready to become a parent, and we're taking on new responsibilities, or we're just graduating from high school, going into college, and now we're moving to a dorm room that is going to require us to wash our own clothes, to feed ourselves, to be able to pay for making sure if there's any type of extracurricular activities that we want. We're getting ready to take on more responsibilities. There's nobody there to put gas in the car. There's nobody there to make sure that we're getting to class back and forth. Listen, it changes, it shifts our whole mindset. So, why am I talking about this? Because I want us to understand that a 1099 is similar to the person that's going to high school that hasn't graduated from high school yet, but they are preparing for college. We are looking at the person that is a single individual. Maybe they are in a relationship. Maybe you're in a relationship, but you haven't had any children yet. So you don't know what it's actually like to take care of a whole nother human being that is not an adult. Okay. And then you have also the whole idea of just leaving your parents' home for the first time. Maybe you're venturing out into your own apartment, maybe your own townhouse, maybe your own house, and you are thinking of, okay, well, I know that I had to take care of all of these things in this little tiny room that I was calling my own, but now I'm going to be responsible for the kitchen, the living room, the dining room, the bedrooms, the bathroom, and the outside arena of wherever I'm going to live. And now I'm going to have to take care of the lights, the water, the cable, the internet. I'm going to have to pay for all of these things. And that is the mindset shift from someone who is a 1099 independent contractor into being a business owner. When you are a business owner, you want to understand some foundational principles of being a business owner. The main focal point that I want to implement is that even in my journey personally, I was always able to call on somebody else. I was able to talk to someone who was basically allowing me to work and provide my skill, gift, or talent to them so they could kind of direct me in the direction that I needed to go in order for me to know what it is that I needed to do. I also had people who would guide me into how to keep my training or my education going so that I could continue to sharpen my skills, my gifts or talents in that particular 1099 independent contractor position. But when I became a full-time business owner, and even a part-time business owner, when I first started out, I was still working the job and I still was a 1099 independent contractor. And then I went into my own business of credit repair. Listen, it shifted my entire life. And it shifted it because the responsibilities and the mindset that I had to have went from be dependent on somebody else to fulfill all of the things, the necessities, the things that I needed to be doing for myself. I could depend on somebody else to give me the information that I needed, the understanding that I needed, the education that I needed. Maybe even call on them if I ran into a particular situation that I didn't understand, something that maybe could occur while I'm on the journey of, being an independent contractor. I could have other people that were independent contractors I could reach out to, maybe a team full of people, maybe a manager or someone that's over me or someone that's directing me in the independent contracting position. But when I became a full-time or even the part-time business owner, everything shifted from dependency to now I am independent. I am independent of myself. So everything is going to fall on me for the continuing education, for the ability for me to be trained in order for me to further my skill set, gifts, and talents as a business owner. So, one of the issues that we have around being a business owner is that we don't really have proper training. We don't really further our education in the gift, skill, or talent unless it is required by our state. We don't continue on learning and growing and changing and shifting with the time of life as business owners. So we tend to fall behind because we think that once we arrive as being a business owner and having our own companies and being able to show proof that we legitimately are a real organization, then we tend to get sidetracked from the aspect of I'm responsible and I got it all down pat and I don't really need anybody's help. Well, I'm here to tell you that as a business owner, you're always going to need help. You're always going to need to further your education, and you absolutely do need mentorship. You need the wise counsel of other people still. Even though you are your own business owner, you're no longer just the independent contractor. When you're doing your own thing, you're always going to need the guidance. So, what am I saying to you? I'm saying that the difference between you being able to give birth, being able to go off to college, and be able to maintain being at college for 2 to 4 years or longer, and being able to learn a system, learn a way that proves it is a method of stability, a method of you being able to stand on your own 2 feet, is when you transition from being the independent contractor to being the employer of a business. The employer of a business means that you are no longer going to be searching and seeking for somebody else to always give you the answers. You're going to take it upon yourself to be able to do the things that are necessary for you to do so that you can be a long-term business owner. That means that you're going to have to seek out who can mentor you, who can give you education as a business owner. You're also going to have to seek out what are the laws around what I'm doing as a business owner and how can I keep up to date with that. You're also going to have to be the one that's going to Put the organization together and have it as a solid foundation, making sure you keep your phone number up to date, your website up to date, making sure you keep your address intact, not switching around and moving around all the time and having your business at your residence. That's not a business owner. Listen, and in addition to that, do you have a business email? Do you have an email that is a professional email with your business name after the @ symbol? These are foundational principles of business owners versus an independent contractor. So I want you to think about for a second the person that is getting ready to leave their home where their parents or guardian has actually taken care of them for 18 to 21 years or more, okay? Versus the person who is actually already out there on their own, in their own place, making sure that they are taking care of those same responsibilities that they didn't have to take care of at the house with the parents or guardians. Then let's look at the person who's been in high school and playing around versus the time now that you are in college and you have to make sure that you get to class and there's nobody that's going to be adding you on, promoting you, motivating you, or telling you to set your alarm to make sure that you get your work done and make sure that you show up in class every day and get the education that people are paying for and possibly you are paying for yourself. That's in the long run going to have to be paid back, by the way. And I want you to think about from the aspect of being a single individual where maybe you have been taking care of yourself, maybe you have been even taking care of a significant other, and now you both have decided that you're going to bring a new life into this world. Look at all of the responsibilities that it takes for you to maintain keeping that person alive, making sure that they're getting every aspect of their needs met and even the things that they want. Do you have this type of a mindset? When you went from a 1099 independent contractor, or even just having the mindset of being self employed, and maybe you went from part time to full time, or you desire to go from part time to full time, are you keeping the frame of mind that this is something that you are going to have to now take the initiative to do? Don't depend on anybody else to do the work for you, because I'm telling you right now, as a business owner of 30 plus years, I have seen myself transition from being that person who is self employed, dependent on other people to do things for me, to pay for things for me, to show me the way, to give me the direction, to show me the proper way of handling compliance, staying in alignment with what it is that I'm supposed to be taking care of myself, to now being a person who has the obligation at my fingertips to make sure that I'm responsible. I'm motivating myself. I am putting myself in the right position. I'm listening to the right people. I'm being mentored by the right audience, by the right mentors, by the right people. I'm receiving the right education for my particular skill set, gift, and talent. I am not dependent on anybody but God to give me the information and understanding and the application, the ability to apply everything that I need as a business owner. And that is the shift, the mindset change that is necessary for you to move from being a employee or a 1099 contractor to being a full-time or even a part-time business owner. And listen, if you are having any problems in any of these areas, or if you can identify with anything that I just said, then you need to come over to www.kbbullc.com and get set up in our associate certification class. And not just get set up in the associate, set yourself up for a future with KBBU for a minimum of what, 2 years? Get your associate's degree. For 6 months is the associate's timeline for you to get certified. But don't just stop there. Go ahead to the next step and get into our bachelor certification classes. Then from there, get into our VIP master certification classes so that you can even further your education on a whole new level as a business owner. This is so crucial for every person that is really trying to make the transition of where they are as a business owner. As a person that is an entrepreneur of over 4+ businesses, listen, you need to know and understand that there is a wealth of knowledge and information that someone can lead you into without you having to go through an experience of failing or having to be challenged because of information that you're not being guided by. So, this is why we created Kingdom Builders Business University. It is really for you. It is for you, the person that's thinking about becoming a business owner. It's for you, for the person that's already a business owner. It's for you that is an independent contractor. It's for you who is a business owner and maybe you've been in business for a long period of time. There is something for every entrepreneur here. And that's why we here at KBBU exponentially empower the elite entrepreneur for excellence. Listen, let us know below by clicking in the comments below to let us know exactly what it is that you got from today's message. We are so excited every single week to come on live to talk to you about these different topics as being a business owner, as being an entrepreneur, as being a 1099 independent contractor, or even being an investor. Going to a higher tier than just being a business owner, but being a business investor where you're investing into other companies. We are here to help all of you. We are here to help every single person that's any part of business that exists. We are here for you. So make sure that you connect and collaborate with us. Let us know what you're learning, how you're growing. We want to track your progress. We want to make sure that we are doing everything that we can to see that you receive success. And listen, make sure that you're following us everywhere at KB.MichelleGreen. And so that you can see some of our success stories, because what we've been doing is sharing with the world the people that have come through our programs, and some of them that are currently still getting their certifications in associates, bachelors, and VIP masters. And listen, we are even considering doing a PhD, a doctorate certification in the future. But we have student success all the time. So make sure you're following us and that you're commenting below and letting us know what you're getting from every single Wednesday from 9:30 to 10 at KBBU behind the scenes. I hope that you have enjoyed this message today, and I hope that this changes your perspective on what you're doing as a business owner, because we want to make sure that you are doing business the right way. All right, until next week, thank you for listening, and y'all take care. All right, bye bye.